At this moment in the concert, we witness something very real happening between them as they sing. Jungkook begins by saying the phrase "one day," and Jimin quickly follows with the line "if you and I could be together." What makes this so special is that Jungkook chooses to repeat the same phrase at the same time as Jimin. It's not just singing for the sake of singing, they both agree to use those lyrics to express what they feel in that moment in front of everyone. Many people noticed that, as they sang those words, Jungkook's gaze toward Jimin was one of pure love. He didn't take his eyes off him and looked at him with a depth that shows they both understand the meaning of those lyrics. By singing about the desire to be together, they are directly confirming that this is their true feeling. It's a clear connection where it's evident that these words aren't just a song, but a promise they are making to each other on stage. This is a sign of their relationship because the way they look at each other while saying they want to be together is so genuine. Jungkook makes sure Jimin feels his gaze throughout that verse, creating a highly emotional atmosphere for those supporting them. It's a long, serious moment where the two focus solely on their connection, making it clear that saying those words in front of everyone is their way of acknowledging their feelings. This is one of the most romantic scenes ever to happen at a concert, and it all unfolds when Jimin has the microphone. In a very special moment, Jimin clearly says "I love you" in front of the entire audience. What's most striking is Jungkook's immediate reaction, who nods his head with unwavering confidence. By doing so, Jungkook is accepting Jimin's feelings and demonstrating the perfect connection between them at that very moment. After Jimin says those words, Jungkook enters his Jikook world and begins searching for Jimin with his eyes all over the venue. It's clear that for him, that "I love you" held a very personal meaning. Jungkook realized that this message of affection was for the fans, but that it was also especially for him. That's why he keeps following Jimin with his eyes, wanting to be close to him after hearing that important declaration in the middle of the show. Seeing Jungkook searching for Jimin like that confirms how precious these moments are to them. It's a direct interaction where it's clear they care for each other and are attentive to one another at all times. The fact that Jungkook nods and then seeks him out so insistently is clear proof of their relationship. At this moment in the concert, we witness a very special moment where Jimin and Jungkook dedicate the song to each other in a very clear way. While on stage, they gaze directly into each other's eyes, completely unaffected by their surroundings. Jimin extends his arm toward Jungkook as he sings his part, a gesture that demonstrates great closeness and affection. At the same time, Jungkook responds by holding the microphone close and keeping time with Jimin, creating an image of perfect synchronization in front of the entire audience. Many people noticed the intense proximity between them, which didn't seem accidental, but rather a deliberate choice to be as close as possible. The gestures they make with their hands and the way they move their bodies in unison under the stage lights are signs of a very strong connection. It's a long moment where we can appreciate how they always find a way to be together, momentarily ignoring the noise of the crowd to focus solely on what they feel while performing their music. This is proof of their relationship because the intensity of their gazes leaves no doubt about the affection they have for each other. Singing while looking directly at each other, they are sharing a moment as a couple, which is beautiful for all Jikook fans to witness. At this point in the concert, a striking situation unfolds where we see Jungkook acting very protectively towards Jimin. While all the BTS members are interacting somewhat chaotically and moving around the stage, Jungkook decides to create a sort of exclusive barrier to protect Jimin. What happens is that Jungkook playfully pushes the other members out of the way, but when it's Jimin's turn, he treats him completely differently, keeping him close and safe from being jostled. Many people noticed that Jungkook pushes everyone except Jimin, creating a private space where only the two of them can be alone. This behavior acts as direct protection, ensuring that no one interrupts their space with Jimin or moves him from his position. It's a tactic he uses to stay close to him, demonstrating that he prefers to be with his partner rather than any other member of the group. It's a clear example of how Jungkook prioritizes Jimin's safety and well-being at all times. This behavior is a clear sign of their relationship because it shows that Jungkook always has an eye on Jimin, even when there are many distractions around. By avoiding pushing him and instead protecting him from others, it confirms that his treatment of him is special and different from how he treats everyone else. It's a very emotional moment for Jikook fans, as it's clear that Jungkook looks for any excuse to be Jimin's shield. At this moment, we can clearly observe how Jungkook feels when he's not close to Jimin. During the event, Jungkook wasn't sitting near him, but that didn't stop him from trying to maintain eye contact. What happens is that, constantly, Jungkook turns his neck to look in Jimin's direction. This is something many people noticed, as his body was in one position, but his gaze was completely focused on his partner, demonstrating that he can't be at ease if he doesn't know what the other is doing. This behavior is a direct sign that Jungkook can't accept being away from Jimin for long. He turns his neck so many times and so frequently that it even seems like he might hurt himself from the constant effort of searching for him among the other people. It's a repetitive movement that shows us that, for Jungkook, distance is something difficult to overcome. He doesn't care about what's happening in front of him, his priority is turning to find Jimin's eyes, confirming that he needs that visual connection to feel good during the event. This demonstrates the strength of their bond, as Jungkook is willing to endure physical discomfort rather than lose sight of Jimin. It's a serious moment where we see his attention shifting from the show to the person he loves. For fans of Jikook, witnessing these actions from Jungkook is real proof that he's always looking out for Jimin, no matter where he's seated. It's a very honest way of showing that their relationship is the most important thing to him and that he'll always find a way to stay connected, even from a distance. At this moment, Jimin and Jungkook are sitting with Taehyung between them, which led many people to say things that weren't true. Some thought Jungkook's happiness was due to being next to Taehyung, but upon closer inspection of the video, we realized the truth. In a very special moment, Jimin looks at Jungkook, and at the same time, Jungkook looks back. In that second, everything else disappears, and they gaze at each other with beautiful smiles on their faces that confirm their feelings. This visual connection between them disproves any other idea, as Jungkook's joy only shines brightly when he connects with Jimin. It's not a coincidence, it's a clear fact that they both choose to ignore the space between them to share a moment of mutual happiness. The smile they share is sincere and direct, demonstrating that Jikook is a real feeling they can't hide, even with other people around. It's an interaction that makes it clear who truly brings that emotion to Jungkook's face. Seeing them smile at each other like that, despite being separated by another member of the group, is a sign that their love is stronger than any seating arrangement. It's a long and beautiful moment where it's evident they have their own secret language through their eyes. This teaches us that we shouldn't be swayed by what others say, but rather by what we see directly between the two of them. In the end, that connection and that smile confirm that Jimin and Jungkook will always find a way to show that they are a united and happy couple. At this moment, we can observe a very clear difference in how Jimin receives affection from those around him, which allows us to better understand his relationship with Jungkook. During the event, there was a situation where Namjoon tried to stroke Jimin's hair, but Jimin's reaction was immediate and very serious. Jimin looked at him in a way that showed he wasn't entirely comfortable with that contact, displaying a gesture of rejection that indicated he didn't like how he was being touched. This incident shows us that Jimin is a person who sets clear boundaries and doesn't openly accept any kind of physical affection, even if it comes from his own bandmates. However, everything changes completely when we see the moment when Jungkook decides to stroke Jimin's hair. Jimin's reaction is the complete opposite. Instead of pulling away or showing discomfort, he simply closes his eyes and enjoys the contact in a very natural way. We can see that Jungkook does it with a special gentleness and affection, as if he knew perfectly well the right way to treat him. This difference in Jimin's attitude is a direct indication of the exclusive trust between them, allowing Jungkook to be the only one who can approach him in such an intimate way without him putting up any barriers. This behavior is a clear sign of their relationship, because it shows us that Jimin feels safe and happy under Jungkook's touch. Many people noticed that the peaceful expression on Jimin's face when Jungkook caresses him is something that doesn't happen with anyone else in the group. It's a long, serious moment that confirms they share a unique and private level of affection. Ultimately, these actions indicate that Jungkook knows exactly how to care for Jimin, and that Jimin truly enjoys and values this special treatment, demonstrating that their bond is deep and that they understand each other through touch in a way that no one else can replicate.